So here's the thing. I've been pretty harsh on Chromebook tablets over the years. From the early attempts like Acer's Chromebook Tab 10 to the swing and a miss that was the Pixel Slate to HP's latest Chromebook X211, I've just not found a tablet running Chrome OS at this point that I really love using. But this new tablet from Lenovo, the Chromebook Duet 5, is one that has surprised me in just about every way, and it's become a device that honestly I now pick up constantly after basically writing it off when it was first announced. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, so let's chat a little bit about the first Chromebook tablet that's actually become part of my everyday carry. Today's video is brought to you by NordVPN. They're the VPN of choice for millions of consumers because they're awesome at what they do. That's keeping your browsing safe and secure, whether you're at home or you're out and about. If you'd like to learn more about them and their services, head over to chromeunbox.com/NordVPN, where you can learn more and get started. I feel like I always have to add this caveat when I talk about any tablet, whether it's Chrome OS, iOS, or Android. I'm just not a tablet guy. Between the thin and light Chromebooks that I carry around and a 6.4-inch phone, I feel like I've got most things pretty well covered. A tablet most times just feels like another thing I've got to keep with me, and it's just hard for me to make a use case for it. I do most of my tablet type stuff on a large screen phone, and when I need a bigger screen than that, I just hop over to my Chromebook. With the Chromebook's touchscreen, its convertible setup, and its included keyboard, there's just not much that something like an iPad Pro could even offer that I can't already get from my phone and Chromebook combo. So, with that in mind, when Chrome OS tablets do show up, I try my best to give them a shot, but unless they're great with something like gaming or they're ultra light and portable and I can use it in place of my phone for certain activities, I just have a hard time finding out what even to do with them. So what generally happens is I leave the keyboard portions attached full time and I just end up using it like a Chromebook. But we all know that detachables make for slightly inferior Chromebooks, just as much as a convertible Chromebook makes for a slightly inferior tablet. So if I'm just going to end up using it as a Chromebook, why not just go get a Chromebook? And that's how I came into this review period with the Lenovo Duet 5. Right off the bat, I looked at the screen size. It's a 13.3-inch, 16:9 Full HD OLED screen, by the way. And I thought to myself, who in the world would pick up a 16:9, 13.3-inch tablet and actually use this thing? I mean, as a Chromebook, that screen size is great. It's exactly what you get on one of my favorite Chromebooks of all time, the Pixelbook Go. But with this Samsung OLED panel on board, its tiny bezels, its super thin form factor, it's only 7 millimeters thick, it's got a bunch of good stuff going on for a Chromebook. A tablet this size with this wide of a screen is just silly, right? And then I unboxed it, and then I started to use it. And yeah, I've got some issues with like the trackpad and the weird way Lenovo chose to support the pen slot on the back that holds the non-included USI stylus. The overall experience with this tablet has honestly just won me over. And that's really what I want to talk about with this one. So let's get the spec stuff out of the way so we can actually get into that conversation. The Lenovo Chromebook Duet 5 comes packing the Snapdragon 7C Gen 2 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal eMMC storage, and the screen, as I mentioned before, is stunning. It's Full HD, OLED, it gets very bright, 400 plus nits, and it's flanked by a quad speaker setup. It's got 2 USB Type-C ports, a volume rocker, power button. The tablet is super thin, again 7 millimeters thin. It feels cool to the touch and premium in your hand. It's only 1.5 pounds. It's great. And on the front is a 5 megapixel camera, 8 megapixel camera on the back. They're Chromebook cameras, so don't expect too much. And that's basically it for the specs. But specs rarely tell the whole story, and I'd argue that with this one, that's truer more than it's ever been. First off, I just wasn't very excited about the prospect of another Snapdragon 7C Chromebook. The Acer Chromebook Spin 513, the HP X211, both just disappointed me in the performance department, running Chrome OS really slowly, honestly, and they didn't have a whole lot of upside in the Android app department. I mean, with ARM chips, I expect better performance on Android apps, even if Chrome OS doesn't run the best. Yeah, this Duet 5 is the Gen 2 of that same chip, but does a little bit of overclocking make that much of a difference? Yeah, it does. I suppose it's a few factors at play actually happening here, but this tablet just feels so much faster than the HP X211. And part of that's the 7C Gen 2, sure, but I think the lower resolution of the Duet 5 screen helps as well. I mean, regardless, this Chromebook doesn't feel like it's slogging through my normal tasks, and that makes a huge difference in daily use. With its larger 13.3-inch screen and this kind of performance, is I've actually been taking it home every evening as my only device. No bag, no peripherals. It's just me and this tablet as I walk out of the office. And you know what? It's been pretty great. The back part of the cover that acts as its kind of kickstand is super thin, but it's sturdy enough to make the Duet 5 feel solid both on a table and on my lap. And the keyboard's actually decent to type on. And since it's so wide, again, it's a 13.3 inch screen, it doesn't really feel awkward or floppy in my lap because it has room to spread out. Now, I do prefer longer articles and longer writing settings on a table or on a desk, but I've typed a lot with this thing on the couch in my lap, and it's actually been really usable. So with the performance being solid, I don't have to worry about crashes or hangups when I'm actually trying to get work done, and the keyboard working the way it does and the screen looking the way it does, this thing's been awesome. And then there's the battery life that's, quite frankly, unlike any Chromebook I've ever used. It charges up really fast and lasts for a very long time. In one span, I saw about 14 to 15 hours of actual use before I even needed to hook it up to the wall. And when I did, it was full and ready to go in like an hour. Even in standby mode, it holds battery charge like a champ. I mean, during the day, I generally leave it sitting on my desk over on the side, and I grab it like when I'm heading out of the office to go home. I crack it open at home, and I never end up with some randomly dead tablet. There's always at least a bit of battery left, or a lot of battery left sometimes, and I've just become confident in only needing to charge it every once in a while. I just know there's going to be enough juice in the tank to get me by when I need it. And when you mix that sort of battery life, this awesome, punchy, saturated screen, this thin, ultralight form factor, you start to put together the pieces and see why it's such a great companion device. Yeah, the quad speakers didn't blow my mind, but they're very good, and they're positioned alongside this fantastic screen that all brings together this cool device that makes it great to watch and consume content on, and play games on, and browse the web on. I mean, this tablet just entices you to pick it up and use it, and that's what I think's been missing for me in the Chromebook tablet space. Yeah, the trackpad is a little cheap feeling, but this overall is a device that invites touch interaction more than most, so it just hasn't even been a huge bother. Would I like to see that part cleaned up a bit? Sure. I'd like backlit keys too if I'm asking for things, and hey, I'd like the USI pen in the box as well. But what I'm getting at here is the fact that Lenovo seems to have done it again with their latest Chromebook detachable. They put in all the right stuff and took out all the things they could to make it this absolute treat to use on a daily basis. It's fun to consume content on, and it can help me get work done when I need to. It's the perfect out and about machine that's great at the house or at the coffee shop. It's nice to look at, it's nice to handle, and it's nice just to not have to worry about the battery. It's really awesome to use. And it's the first Chromebook tablet I feel really confident in recommending for most people. And it's good enough at the Chromebook tasks that I don't feel like I've got to warn people about it. It's great at the Android stuff too. And overall, it's just great at being a tablet. I mean, unless you're in the market for something like really tiny, like an iPad mini or something, obviously, in that scenario, this is not a good fit for you. But for most people, I think it'll be great. I mean, sitting back on the couch and watching YouTube, that's one of my favorite things to do with this tablet. But I could also enjoy a longer movie like on Netflix or something just as easily. I mean, the screen is just immersive and mesmerizing, and it makes content consumption just so good. While I still can't make it my only all-in-one Chrome OS device just yet, it won't fully support my QHD ultra-wide display at the office, which is a limitation of the Snapdragon 7C at this point. This is the type of Chromebook that one day I could honestly see myself using as both my full-time work device and take home and consume content device once it arrives with a tad bit more power under the hood. But that being said, for what I've actually been using it for as a companion type device, processing power has not been an issue at all. And I think most of you watching this right now will find that to be the case as well. I just can't overstate how surprised I am by how much I love this tablet. Is it perfect? No, but it's a whole lot of fun to use, and I have absolutely no reservation when I tell you to pick one up if a larger tablet's something you're actually considering. This one's pretty great, and in so many ways, I think it could be just the right Chromebook for a lot of people looking for a flexible, attractive, reasonably affordable, and fun device. But guys, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there and hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the notification icon that's right next to it if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.